Light as a feather when I'm flipping through, reading through the daily news, measuring the hurt within the golden rule. Centimeters of ether, I'm heating the speaker. Motivational teacher with words that burn people. Singing the headlines, line with discord. It's either genocide or the planet in uproar. Never good. The rules of paradise are never nice. The best.
I'm your supervisor.
Meg, I promise I'll do better at this job than I did on the SATs. Come on. Do math.
Letting my words take me away from the hurt and despair. So I'm keeping it vertical, forever elevator. Riding the escalator to the something that is greater. So I'm drifting away like a feather in air. Letting my soul take me away from the hurt and despair. So I'm keeping it vertical, forever elevator.
I see a lot of examples of how Asians are represented within the media today, and I can't help but feel like they're dehumanizing in a lot of different yet similar ways. What I mean by this is that when it comes to movies and shows, Asians are usually written and played out into the same stereotypes over and over again. And I mean, I get it. Making racist jokes is an easy way to get a laugh out of people, but I can't help but think about why they're so widely accepted. My theory for why this is that it comes from a history of people genuinely believing that these stereotypes are true. I find this connection with the term model minority, which was coined within the last 70 years, which I'll let my friends Dom and Eric explain the history.
The idea comes from a history of race, power, issues, and statistics showing that Asians are more well off than other minorities. Originally in the 1800s, Asian Americans were not seen as inherently smart. The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 banned Chinese people from immigrating to the United States. They were seen as dangerous, inferior, and unassimilable. Later, during World War II, the United States forced 120,000 Japanese Americans, who were mostly citizens, into internment camps. They were scared of them, seeing this Asian race as aliens who were dangerous, similar to how they saw the Chinese during the Chinese Exclusion Act. In the 1960s, the United States faced global criticism for racism. The civil rights movements and the Cold War created political pressure to appear morally superior. The Soviet Union criticized the U.S. segregation, civil rights leaders exposed American racism, and the government needed a success story to defend a nation's image, a sort of victory propaganda. In 1966, media outlets such as the New York Times and the U.S. News and World Report made stories such as Success Story Japanese American Style or Success Story of One Minority Group in the U.S. These articles praised Asian Americans for succeeding without complaining, contrasting them with Black Americans fighting for civil rights. The main purpose of this was to discredit Black civil rights movements, to deny the existence of systemic racism, and to position Asians as the good minority.
Within the last 50 years, statistics show that Asian Americans are generally more well off. From an AAPI data analysis of the 2023 5-year American Community Survey, statistics show that 57% of Asian Americans achieved a bachelor's degree or higher, while only 39% of white people, the next highest percentage, had achieved a bachelor's degree or higher. Other minorities such as Latino and Black were significantly lower. These statistics create the idea that Asians are inherently smarter than all other races. This myth is clearly believed when it comes to looking at statistics showing how much support Asian Americans get in education. Over 1 million students from white, Black, and Latino backgrounds are served under Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, while under 250,000 students from Asian backgrounds are supported. This shows that this myth is commonly believed and is harming the education of Asian Americans.
Now, I wanted to get some more input on the term, so I asked someone who has a little more experience in life than me, which is my older sister, who is a first-generation Asian American college student, and I asked her about what her thoughts on the term were and what her lived experiences were.
I think on its surface, the way that Asians are represented seems positive. Like, all the things are like, oh, Asians are smart, they're good at various subjects to become successful in their careers as doctors, engineers, etc. But I think overall, it is harmful, even though on the surface it seems like it's not. And this is because it's such a general statement that it can't be true for every single Asian American. And it also locks Asian Americans who are kind of growing up into these specific roles or expectations, so they feel like they have trouble finding their own identity. And at the same time, it can put even Asian Americans against each other. Like, what if they see an older sibling who's more successful and they can't really meet those standards? Then it creates conflict within the family group, and it can even extend beyond that, where it's like, oh, maybe it's like someone who's a different ethnicity is kind of putting Asian Americans on a pedestal, and then it causes conflict because it's like, hey, that's not true, but it's just like, instead of working together to fight the overall system, they're fighting against each other. Growing up, I didn't struggle too much with school, and I think that just came with also a lot of hard work and studying all the time, like studying during family gatherings or skipping time out and prioritizing school over things that are fun. And I think that did lead to more positive results in school, but then it also led to people going like, oh, like, it must be really easy because you're smart, or like, you should be really good at math. Like, it should be your best subject because Asians are good at math. But I think in reality, I struggled with that subject the most compared to others. And all of my results are more from like work rather than an inherent talent that came with being Asian.
Except in math. He's way ahead of you in math.
I've been following this Asian American content creator named Aaron for a while now, and I find it interesting how he kind of debunks the model minority stereotypes of subservience and inherent intelligence. His main personality is that he's a silly person, to put it simply, and not something you'd expect from a model minority.
Man, the door shut right in my face as I boarded the train. We are packed like a can of sardines in here, man. Under the sea, under the sea. Down here it's better, down where it's wetter, under the sea. Oh, you gotta go. Let her through, come on.
And when I asked him about his college experience, I was quite delighted to see how unlike it was compared to the stereotypes.
I'm not the type to even like kind of have interest in that. So yeah, I was just like, college was like just a first thought for me.
Choosing to pursue higher education isn't an easy task by any means, and certainly shows how Asians are hardworking and not just inherently smart. Something else that I thought was quite interesting was that his thought process behind creating content also debunks the stereotypes.
When I was younger, I used to watch a lot of Vine compilations because I didn't have Vine. I didn't have a phone until like 9th grade or 10th grade or whatever. So I didn't have Vine. So me and my brother would watch YouTube on like our iPads and stuff. We would just watch Vine compilations, and those were so funny. And I never saw like the bad ones. I only saw the good ones. So like I saw all those Viners, and I remember me and my brother just like dying watching them. And so I wanted to like make funny videos because I thought they were funny. Going back to what you said about you don't really know until you know. I think you got to do stuff even if you don't know. Like you can't do stuff all the time knowing the answer.
Yeah,
like that's how I did content. Like I think people think too methodical about it.
The model minority myth sort of discourages Asians from doing something like content creation because it's so unlike them and a non-Asian thing to do. So seeing that these silly videos he creates comes from a place of authenticity, I think is a clear example of how Asians kind of break the rules and do non-Asian things like content creation. Okay, so thinking back to the bigger picture, why are these stereotypes so common and accepted in the media today? In my interviews with my older sister and Aaron, I've clearly seen that these stereotypes are harmful and not true. However, I think it largely comes down to what gets people to watch. The stereotypes have proven throughout time to get views and laughs from people, so why not just use it as a cheap way to get the job done even if it's harmful? Well, when it comes to the media doesn't really care about feelings and what brings in money, so if it means playing into the model minority stereotypes, then they'll do just that.